Here's something I haven't ridden in a while, a Scott bike. The last one I rode was, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 months ago. And that was the, what was it called? The Scott Genius, there you go. Scott Genius. So it's more cross-country focused than the Genius. It's more comfortable to ride. The geometry has been changed specifically for comfort. It has still got full suspension on it, so you can definitely do some of the more off-road stuff, but it's an intended market that is different from the Genius. That's more all mountain enduro, and this is more cross-country, more relaxed. I like to ride as many different bikes as I possibly can because it gives you a real rich experience across all the different brands, all the different components. You start to learn what works well, what doesn't work well. So I'm interested in trying out this just around my local trails. It's not going to be a full-on review. It's just going to be kind of like a first ride impression. I'll tell you what I think about it, what I like, what I don't like. And let's take a look, shall we? Featuring the Bosch InTube battery, which I think it looks pretty neat actually. If you look at the design from here, it looks well designed. I like the frame, I like the integration of the battery. The Bosch InTube battery is just going straight in there. Can be removed. Got a couple of bolts here to remove it. I don't think it's going to be a quick removal, but InTube battery looks pretty neat. It's got the Bosch Performance CX motor, and it's pretty well integrated into the frame, and it's got this little bash plate just down here to protect the motor. Now the Bosch motor on here, it's and I've noticed this on a lot of different bikes, they all sound slightly different, and I think some of it is down to just the tolerances in the way that the motors are manufactured, but also some of it I think is coming down to the frames and how they are integrated into the frames and what mounting hardware that they've used, how that resonates through the frame. I know that sounds really geeky, but I think that the same motor can sound different in different bikes, and this one sounds particularly quiet. So listen to the pitch when I'm riding it. It's definitely quieter than some of the other Bosch motors. In fact, there's Shimano motors out there that are quite a bit louder than this, and Bros motors. So this is fairly quiet. It's still e-bike, you can still hear it, but it's one of the quietest Bosch motors that I've ever ridden. There is a lot of wires going on here. I mean, this is not a minimalist cockpit. There is, and I don't know, I never use this. This is the lockout, and I know a lot of people do use this. In my last video that I did, a lot of people gave me feedback and said, look, hey, I really like that. I don't see the point in this. They can take it off, no issues. So if you want this bike and you don't want this, it can be removed. It's no problem at all. It locks out the front and the rear to give you a better, or more comfortable ride. A more efficient ride maybe. I think on an e-bike it's a bit pointless. That's my personal thought. Neat it is not. I'm gonna be honest with you. It just looks like a bit of a bird's nest. Look, you can see that massive loop, and obviously it can be moved around, but it is pretty, I don't know, I think it looks stupid, sorry. But the frame on the other hand looks really nice. The matte paintwork on it, the finish is really, really good. It's got Fox 34 rhythm forks. These are the same forks actually that are on the 6 grand Levo Comp Carbon e-bike specific forks. They're pretty good. In fact, on this bike they will be more than adequate. They will be fantastically paired, so I think that's really good. 29er wheels, which is really cool, really good for cross country, really decent in terms of minimal roll-in resistance. I love 29er wheels personally. I think the roll-in capabilities of them is really, really good. Maxxis Recon, Max Terra compound. What has it got on the back? Yeah, Fox Float DPS Elite, again, very good, capable shock with the lockout if that's what you like. 4-bar link suspension at the back, SRAM, NX drivetrain, Maxxis tyre on the back, same as on the front, the Recon dropper. So this would be for somebody that would like an e-bike, likes to get out, have a comfortable ride, and wants something that looks really good, bang up to date. Bosch motor on here, just riding it around here, I've been really impressed with it, and looks like a sorted bike, doesn't it? Should we take it for a spin? I'll take it for a little burn, I'll pop the GoPro on, and I'll just give you my early thoughts. By no means is it a full review, it's just some early thoughts on how it feels. Let's take it out. You might want to lock it out. I'm gonna actually try and understand what the point in this stuff is. By the way, you know I said the Bosch motor was quiet on this bike? Yeah, I can barely hear the motor. Oh, it feels nice actually. This motor is really quiet, like really quiet. Sure, it's not bros in there, is it? No, it's remarkably quiet for a Bosch motor. Let's put it in turbo. Okay, marginally, but ridiculously quiet. Now, I did say just a moment ago that I reckon some of it is because of the way that it's been integrated into the frame, and the mounting hardware that they're using is probably damping it down slightly, or maybe it's just a fluke. They've popped it in this frame and it's really, really quiet. I don't know, but I'm impressed with that. This thing here has resulted in this carnage happening around here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cables. All of this kind of stuff here that looks like, do you remember behind your computer desk in the 1990s when you started to get all your computer bits and you're like, yeah, I can get a computer, a CD drive, a printer, a scanner, and you had all these wires, and then you used to get this kind of TV cable stuff from Argos. That's what this is. It just doesn't look neat. It does not look visually appealing. In fact, I can't even, I'm really nitpicky, I'm sorry, but I just tell you like it is from my own experience, and I don't know, those things bother me. Anyway, I'm not going to mention that stuff anymore. I've got it out of the way. So let's see what this actually does, because push it once to lock the front, push it twice. It's actually quite a decent bit of engineering in terms of the way it works. Feels good, but what is the point in it? Okay, right, I'm going to ride back down to the bottom of this hill. Whoa, it's windy. Ooh, yeah, brakes work. Okay, so I'm going to pretend I'm going up a hill. Ooh, yeah, really bouncy, isn't it? Okay, now let's lock out. What did that do? That did the front. Didn't really do much, probably needs more air in. Let's lock out the rear. Yeah, the bike's just stiffer. It's really responsive. Like, it's really sharp in a good way. Obviously it's you know, the head angle's steeper than you would get on a standard kind of trail or mountain bike, but feels good, man. It feels nice to ride. Upright, a bit more upright than usual, but can still tackle trails. Well, it's really responsive. like really nice and sharp, and there's no issue just taking on some trails and single track, and it's well designed. The geometry, it's more upright, so you're more if you've ever ridden a motorbike and you've ridden I don't know, a sports bike and then moved over to something that's a bit more touring, it's not, you know, the exact same as that, but it reminds me of when I had like a Fireblade and then rode on a multistrada. I mean that's not the best analogy whatsoever, but it's really comfortable. I like the way it feels. You've got decent enough components, a decent enough head angle, 29er wheels, good geometry to be able to hit a trail centre with easy, like easy. But you've got the more upright comfort position for hitting a 50 miler if you wanted to. Bang the motor in eco and no problem, you're easily going to be able to bust out the miles on a really comfortable bike. I quite like it. I quite like how responsive it feels. More trail focused, cross country, but travel's getting even longer, isn't it? Woo. You can definitely hit the off-road stuff, no issues. Really sharp. Yeah, you'll get some of that because of the slack head angle. Sorry, the steeper head angle. But feels, dare I say it, playful. And I know that's an overused term in biking, but oh, where am I going? This way. Can be an overused term to describe how something feels, but it does. I've ridden a lot of e-bikes and this feels sharp and agile, and has given me confidence to just do some of the little bit steeper stuff around here that I didn't actually think this would be able to do very well, but it has. Good stuff. There you go. I quite like the way that rode actually. I was thinking that it might be more harsh and a little bit less easy to handle off-road, but I was pleasantly surprised. I would have no problem at all taking that to a trail centre, hitting more off-road stuff, jumps, drops, all that stuff. It's still got 140mm travel front and rear, and it felt really agile, really nimble, easy to turn, really quick, but not so quick that it felt unstable. Get a ride if you can. Scott, from the stem backwards, the bike looks beautiful. Really nicely integrated battery, motor, paint work, it all looks really good. From the stem forward, it looks like when you open your man drawer at home and you've got all those cables that you just don't want to get rid of because one day you might use them. That's what the front of the bike looks like. Other than that, the bike rides really well. The Bosch motor is great. It's on EMTB mode, really responsive. Quite quiet on this one. I was really surprised how quiet that motor was. Get a test ride if you can. ebikeshop.co.uk are dealers, they can get the full range, and take a look at the website. It'll give you more info on the bike. Right, if you like this, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Subscribe. I bring out all this stuff every week. I will catch up with you soon. Cheers, bye.